But Derek, with the new DPS passive, Genji is gonna be fucking like top tier. So I think you're gonna have a fun time with that.
Yeah, it's a reload speed and movement speed buff every time you get a kill, so you can daisy chain better.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be nicer for catching and like follow up. But yeah, I was starting to think like because Genji really isn't gonna get. Okay. It's all going to be dependent on whether or not the playstyle of Genji is going to be you're a shittier Doomfist until you get your ult, and then you wipe a team fight, or don't. And that's all dependent on how your skill is. If that playstyle is the same, then I think the buff actually isn't all that great because you don't get the increase reload speed doesn't do anything for you. It's just movement speed. If Genji's place in the meta is more relevant, now that Doomfist is not going to be just better Genji, I think, yeah, actually it will be pretty good.
Are we shit talking Doom? Hi there.
Yes, class here. We're talking about Doomfist.
Oh, I got some words.
Lay it on us.
They better be nothing about being butthurt about him because nobody on this call likes Doomfist. That's not true.
Oh, you think I'm trying to support Doomfist? No! I don't think he got nerfed. I don't think he got buffed. I think the change was well made and needed.
I guess my main introduction to DPS Doomfist was essentially our last game.
Oh yeah,
And
Beef said fuck it in like our last game, picked Doomfist and said, you know what, why not? And then actually fucking rolled without having a clue with what he was doing.
It's hard to forget. It's hard to remember that we have been playing essentially an unsupported game for the past 3 years because all the Overwatch devs were not really paying attention to Overwatch at all. So I'm curious to see what that what kind of whiplash we're going to get once we get a meta that has more constantly evolving standards because the devs are actually going to be paying attention. Having a healthy tank meta is going to be very interesting for the devs because you can't have like if you want to play a dive comp, right? In Overwatch 1, it's pretty straightforward. You grab a Winston and a Diva essentially, and bada bing, bada boom, you have a dive comp. In Overwatch 2, you only have one tank, which means if you want to make a dive comp, now you need to make a choice, which is the best dive tank, Winston, Diva, or Doomfist. Wrecking Ball also. Now that you only get to pick one tank per team, which champ is best dive champ is now becoming a relevant question, a more relevant question, because you don't have the option of just picking both. Or
and also half the tank roster is dive tanks now, which is like cool. Hopefully that will be like a more
Orisa
prime meta. Yeah, dive Orisa. You go Kiriko, Lucio, Genji, fucking
Tracer,
Orisa. Just everyone's flying ahead of her, and she's just.
Part of the design philosophy that the devs were talking about is to shift Overwatch 2 away from being a ultimate centric game where the pace of team fights is dictated on who has ults, which Overwatch 1 was very bad at. Like ultimate economy was like pretty much the deciding factor in team fights. It felt like a lot. I'm curious if their claimed attempts to do that have worked, and if it does work, what that's going to mean for the pace of the game. Because if ultimates don't really mean much, that means that comeback mechanics are a little bit harder, because the way you usually come back in a team fight in Overwatch 1 is you wait for the enemy team to waste all their ults, and then you try to win the ult war, essentially, and then win that way. If also mean anything, then it's probably going to be harder to catch up if you're already on a losing streak.
I don't know, though, because for ultimates, it's been reduced for tanks, which is kind of crazy, but like all of the DPS aren't beefcakes. Bring back level 3 turret. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I want Torp's turret to have rockets.
Yeah. I want rockets on his turrets, and I want the fucking scrap mechanic back. Having second points. Another thing in Overwatch 2 that's not going to happen anymore.
Thank God.
No CP to your 2.
Holy shit. The only time I want to see every 2 CP map back is PvE. That's it. I don't think I ever want to see him in, like, I don't want them to change the map at all.
I would like to see them changed. I would like to see them take the assets of them and then turn them into payload maps.
I like the idea of expanding the core concept of 2CP into a like control points. Instead of like 2CP, increase the number of points to like say 4 or 5. and then make them controlled by whichever team is on them. You capture the point, and then you start gaining like rank. Like pull
Oh, like TF2.
Like annex, like an annex
Like-
game mode.
like an annex game mode, or I know Battlefield does it. Like if it worked that way, I feel like that could be an interesting game mode.
Okay.
You have to control them, and if you control the most, like you start winning, whatever like the win mechanic is. But the way you win is by controlling the most amount of points for the longest amount of time.
Completely unrelated, but I want to see an updated training room.
Please. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god.
I want
Please.
I want to see. So you know the like the default fucking no textures room that they've been showcasing all the PvE enemies in. Just make that the fucking training room with all those enemies in it, and they all have they all do like different attacks. Like one shoots a machine gun infinitely, one shoots a rocket infinitely, one shoots a beam infinitely. So you can just walk in front of it, take damage, and practice mitigating damage, practice healing, practice Zarya bubbles. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to make a training area with enemies that are just constantly doing something. Fuck, make like an NPC Reinhardt that just charges left and right, back and forth in a wall. Like,
You don't like
just,
the two robots shooting back and forth like?
yeah, that do like 5 fucking peanut damage a shot. Yeah, you can charge a good 10 charge on a Zarya bubble between both those robots. Egg, what is your input on the Doomfist change?
The original change, like conceptually, I liked a lot. As much as I miss the character, it's a dog shit character in Overwatch 1, so it's just no fun for anyone. So like conceptually, I think it's fine. I think they did a good job with the rework, but I don't know what specifically they did in the most recent iteration of the version that's going to go into the live game, where they kind of lowered the skill ceiling a ton and took a lot of the fun out of the kit by removing a lot of the text. I think if they revert whatever the fuck they did that really messed with his movement, and really just turned him into Winston 2, I'll be a lot happier with it. If he was, I don't think he needed the nerfs he got in the first place.
No, not at all. I think he was perfectly fine in Beta 1, and then Beta 2 just made him
I
unplayable.
agree. I think people jumped on the Doom is OP train way too fast, and Doom players, people that either played Doom or were tank players trying him out. Quake, Brandito, like all the names you probably know. The DPS players, they were trying him out and still were enjoying him and thinking he was in a decent place even after those nerfs. But the character is dead, is the general consensus.
So everybody as a passive keeps 30% of their ultimate charge when they switch off a character.
Nice.
Supports have Mercy passive. Mercy's passive is just it's stronger. Tanks give off less ultimate charge when they take damage and receive healing.
The original DPS buff,
Okay.
I don't really I didn't really feel all that much. It was like a bonus to your movement speed.
What even was it?
That it.
Well, no,
Oh.
that DPS buff isn't going to
That's-
get applied until tomorrow. That wasn't in any of the betas. It's going to be a
this
new
is-
thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is new.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
The original
in the
DPS passive was just movement speed
Movement speed.
flat.
Yeah.
It was
And
like
then all of
6%
the
or
people
something.
that was
all the
Beta
people who
1.
moved
Beta
faster.
2. Beta 1 was the movement speed. Beta 2 was the 30% all charge keep.
Yeah.
They took the
Yep,
30%
and
all
then
charge keep, applied it to the
it
whole
was everyone.
roster, and then gave DPS this new passive, which most content creators that I've seen are like afraid of.
So thoughts, excitement, concerns about new bitch? I will think other people first, and then I
What,
will share
Kiriko?
mine.
I think her ultimate's going to get nerfed really quickly.
Oh, fuck them! Don't you say that.
Her ultimate's going to get nerfed. Have you seen how fast a Reinhardt swings? Have you seen the hog alt in that shit? Nano visor in that shit? It is
Yeah,
broken.
that's just fucking disgusting. It's fun as fuck if you're the one doing it.
Correct.
It is fucking disgusting if you're on the opposite side.
Well, it's a good thing
Now,
both
what
teams will
I-
have that character
what
on their
I
team
wanna
until she's
know-
nerfed.
If she's getting the BAP treatment, where if Sombra EMPs, it goes away. Window isn't an item; it's just a thing that gets put down, and then when she EMPs, it's zipped from existence. Will it be the
I'm-
same exact thing? Especially with how the new hack works, where they're only can't use abilities for like 2 seconds.
More so as part of her design, she's extremely mobile, and I think her knife throw ability actually does like quite a bit of damage.
Yes.
120 to the
so-
mouth.
Yeah, so I'm curious what the initial response is going to be from having a character with her level of mobility, like able to teleport and also run up walls, and her level of damage in a support class is going to be. She's probably overtuned for hype purposes and will probably be like patched as soon as a lot of people start playing her.
Guys, I don't need that in my ear.
That's how every character that's ever been added to this game has been. What
Not
do you
Brig.
mean? Brig has been
Not-
nerfed the most of every character in the game. Brig has had like 17 nerfs, and she's
Brig
still
single-handedly
obnoxious.
killed Overwatch. I don't know what you're talking about.
The most balanced character they've released, off the top of my head, the only two people I can think of is Sigma
No.
and Ana. I don't remember them changing
No.
much about
If you
Sigma.
are trying to say
I
the
don't
words to
know.
me that
I don't-
Sigma was balanced on
No, no,
launch,
no,
no,
I
no.
will move your penis and testicle.
First off, wait. Am I crazy? I haven't seen anything about Sigma before.
Okay,
ever. Hold on.
as
Sigma
some
almost broke the game as much as Brig.
as somebody who
As
played
much as
Sigmas,
Brig?
as
Yes.
somebody who played Sigma since day one, picture this. Attack on Horizon Lunar Colony, second point. You're going up the right side, up the stairs, on the high rise, looking over the second point. I, as Sigma, day one, strafed right and mashed right click and took no damage. Shield, no cooldown.
Okay.
Pop, pop,
yeah,
pop,
the ones
pop,
that-
pop.
You can't forget. That was the most
I don't
obscene
know.
thing. Brig brought goats. Ghost lasted for a long time and was very oppressive. Everyone hated it. What sucks even worse than goats? You guessed it. Double shield. Don't get it fucked up. That old man fucked things up.
Remember
Yes, it
when
was
Ball
Briggs.
had no cooldown on his hook?
Yeah, that was like
Okay.
2 weeks ago. It feels like.
When Ball didn't have a 6-second time limit to his spins.
Yeah, he could just keep on spinning
It was
eternally forever.
Literal spin to win. It had its
And what-
own fucking meta.
And when his boop actually launched you like pinball across the map. Rest in peace. I was watching old clips today of pre-steadfast Reinhardt, and when a Lucio used to be able to just like walk up to Orion and set him to outer space. Because Lucio's boop used to be insane, and Ryan had no steadfast. Tanks had no steadfast.
Yeah, that was wild.
Loading Reinhardt. And it was like that in Goats too. Lucio's boop had been nerfed, but there was no steadfast, so it was just Ryan moving about.
This might be a bit boomery, but does anyone remember like launch Cassidy and how every CS:GO player just made Overwatch miserable because Cassidy's headshot did 200 damage?
Oh yeah, I totally
Wait,
if you
forgot
it
yeah, I
did?
totally-
Cassidy, if you got a headshot, was
100?
200 damage. Yes, it could kill a
Did
flat
it-
200 HP.
Did it not have fall off?
It had like I think it had
very,
fall-off, but
very
not a lot.
minimal, if any. Yeah.
And every CS:GO player who had been practicing doing nothing but landing headshots with pistols for like 10 years prior to Overwatch coming out just rolled every single lobby you could possibly think of.
And his fan also didn't have any fall off either.
Yeah, his fan
You
did
could just
not
fan
have.
across the map.
You could fan across the map, and also each bullet from fanning did same damage as if you shot it normally.
Oh yeah.
It
it did, like,
worked like an
1200
actual
damage.
gun. Yeah, it was just fine. Just roll, alt stop. Also, there were no hero limits, so you could have six Cassidys on a team.
Yeah, I remember the no hero limits.
I started playing the game post Moira, so I did not experience any of this.
How are we feeling about Cassidy's bomb?
Pulse Bomb 2 needs to go away. Are my thoughts.
I
Tracking
also agree.
heat-seeking Pulse Bomb can fuck right off. I personally have been on board with the people saying let him keep his flash and take away his right click. I don't hate that, but if you want flash gone, sure. I don't think Pulse
Trying to
Bomb
think
2 is
of
the idea.
what they can give him instead
Yeah.
of Pulse Bomb 2. Honestly, just give him the regular bomb. Just have it do 65 damage, not heat seeking, and it just goes as far as a stun grenade.
Like that's fine with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like just
I don't
get
know
rid
why
of
they tripled the damage and,
Yeah,
and made it heat-seek.
nerf the damage, get rid of the heat seeking, and the ability's fine. I think it's a perfect. I like the no stun because just the
It is very
fucking
nice.
the stun
Just
right
tanks
clicks absolutely just.
I hate the right click more than the stun.
I think if he right clicks his reload cost, I think she should actually be putting in the bullets and not
That's a funny idea. If you fan the hammer, you gotta
one,
put in
two,
each
three,
bullet
four,
in it.
five, six. That's what I like. Ash, I think that's what it should be like. One, two,
If you fan the hammer, you have to play Russian roulette every single time. He fans the hammer, puts one bullet in, just puts one to the head. If you don't die, you get to continue playing him.
shoots 5 and then spins the thing at the end of it.
Yeah, da-da-da-da.
Stupid. Fucking, I hate
Bam! Like he fans the last bullet.
What do you guys think about Orange Watch 2? The
Okay,
fact that
so
the
from all
entire
the
game looks like it's been dipped in mustard now.
yes.
okay.
So
I'm
the,
like,
the betas look like that. All the gameplay footage that I'm seeing from like what the streamers have been playing, like the early version of the full release, it doesn't look like that. Like Eichenwald looks like daytime Eichenwald. Like it looks
yeah.
normal.
God bless America.
I watched
Mustard
Nepal.
World sucks ass.
Yeah, Mustardwald, bad. Nepustard, gross.
Not mustard.
Damn, that's like nipple crust mustard.
Iliustard, get that shit out of here.
Yeah, especially because it's a map that's so clean and crisp and white and blue, and then they just dipped it in mustard. It makes me
King's
so
Rustard, dude. Gross.
sad. Not the King's Rustard.
I'm 100% excited for everything to come. Everything that's going to happen tomorrow. I felt like crying at work today. I was like, holy shit. The
Okay.
game that got me into video games is going to be shutting down and improving for the rest of my life.
That's a weird fucking thought you just put in my brain. This
Overwatch was the
this
reason
game
why I got
this
an
game is a
Xbox.
third of your age. What the fuck? Really quick, since we're talking about play of the games, reverting our conversation earlier to how Sigma was super not fucking balanced when he came out. Another part of his kit that they had to change was that if you alted and left clicked on your alt and then died, the alt didn't stop. The alt kept going after you died upon release. So my first play of the game as Sigma is an actual 5k flux post-mortem on Route 66. And the only
I
person
forgot that was a thing.
yeah. It was the
I
first
totally
play of the
forgot.
game of like within like 2 weeks of him being a thing. I got that 5k, and the only person on their team that didn't die was the other Sigma because he wasn't in the flux. And the play ends with my corpse just on the ground and like looking at him because he's the only person left on their team, and he's got his fucking hand out, and my whole team just walks on him.
I gotta work. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Goodbye, Derrick.
Peace out, my soy. All right, you guys getting on or what?
On what?
Oh,
Oh my god, don't. Oh, I was gonna. Oh my god. I remember I was at work and I had Twitter notifications on and I saw the Overwatch 1 is finally shut down. I was just like, holy shit.
I was watching.
It's gone.
I had Sleepy stream up like at noon, and I was like doing work stuff. Like I was like helping customers and like closing paperwork and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
hold on.
And the whole time I was like darting back and forth watching the stream, and then it hit the loading screen, and Sleepy went, yeah! Like he like let out like this prepubescent wail.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have
right.
a wonderful evening times.
Peace out.
Good night, all.
Have a good rest of your day,
Goodbye.
Jonopaly. Good night, my Ilk and my Meg.
Meg.
Ilk and
Oh,
Meg.
gee.
Goodbye.